Sarkodie, Sarkodie, no, popularly known as The Landlord, has birthed a new song this year. That is 2026. And the title of the song is Odo Pa featuring Kweku Flick, also known as 111666. 111666. And the song is making waves on the back of three cardinal reasons. Now, the first one has to do with the beautiful composition of the song. I mean, from the start of the song to the end, the lyrics, the composition, the instrumentation, it's all these elements contributes to the nice song, or the song being very nice. And two has to do with the message being projected in the song. It talks about domestic violence, or people being in, or especially ladies being in abusive relationships. And the third one has to do with the ever baddest, the ever sexiest Efia Odo factor. So the amalgamation of these three elements, it's making the song be on the rise like stew. So the song is on the rise like stew, and it's making waves. And this particular video, I'll touch on 5 indispensable things. The first one has to do with the instrumentation. Shout outs to MOG for such a nice production or a nice beat. It's one of the things I have discovered, or one of the lacunae I have discovered, that most of the people who do music breakdowns or do music reactions don't, or shun away from. And two, I'll talk about the thematic areas of Sarkodie's verses, Sarkodie's rap. So the verse 1 and the verse 2. I'll touch on Kweku Flick's indispensable chorus. I'll touch on the Efia Odo factor, and then I'll talk about the video in general. I'm not a video person, so I'll just talk about the video a bit from the layman's perspective. And so yeah, this is not a breakdown. This is not a reaction. This is a critical analysis. My name is the man named Roger. Just in case you don't know, I'm here to touch your soul.
It's the handsome baby. Listen.
Okay, so Odo Pa simply means good loving, and it reminds me of Banky W's song, I'm gonna be loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, baby. You got a good loving. I'm gonna give it to you. And Odo Pa is not a novel title. Odo Pa people have used Odo Pa in their song titles. I remember Castro featuring Kofi Kenata and Asamoah Gyan also had a song titled Odo Pa way back in 2013. And so yeah, Odo Pa is not something new. It's just that Sarkodie added the element that Sarkodie added is novel. That's the abusive relationship stuff to the Odo Pa thing. So the song starts with a pad, which is not novel or alien to people who have musical ears. It starts with boom. It just starts with that particular thing, and you can find that pad in, the intro. You can find that in Shane Watts' "Breathless." You leave me breathless. That's how it starts. That's how the song starts, and you can find the same start in Aquaboy's and Tisa. And then there's this particular element. I think it's a sample. I don't know where MOG sampled that particular thing from, or song from. So it just blends perfectly with. Now he starts with that particular part, and then you may not hear it when it continues, because he introduces a bass string as a progression. So when I say a progression, a progression itself, for instance, so it's just runs through. It just keeps the beat alive. So for instance, when you hear Sarkodie's verse, you could hear the progression in there just runs through. So do fast, so me, anyhow you want to play the chord, but when you're playing the progression, it has to make sense. The progression has to make sense. So it starts with it's when the part comes in, that sound, you will hear a bass string that is playing that is the progression. It's a bass string, and then later you hear a pad, like a pad that also runs through. It's also a progression that backs so you make the beat kind of heavy, and then you hear a tiny tone in there that follows the pad and the bass string, and it just blends perfectly with the. It just blends perfectly well, and so I wouldn't be astonished if emoji got the inspiration from this particular sound and made a progression out of it. I wouldn't be astonished. And so anybody who gets to interview emoji should ask him a question about this particular thing. So yeah, so the instrumentation is very nice, and it has I like the snare. So it's a very simple drum pattern. So boom. And then I really like the snare because the snare hits very hard. It's just a very hard snare. I don't know if he added effects to the snare, but I like the snare. It hits very hard. And there is this percussion that if you are listening with a headset, you hear it. It has been panned left and right. People who understand panning will know. So when you hear one on your left, when you hear one on your right, it's called panning. So you just hear. So it's a very nice percussion that runs through the entire beat, and it reminds me of Drake's "I'll Be Up All Night." They said, "I'm in love with Martin" featuring Nicki Minaj. I think it was released in 2011 or 2010. So so you could hear that clamp, but this particular song has the percussion, so it just runs through, and it makes the beat come, or it makes the beat very lively. And so yeah, so when you listen to Sarkodie's verse, you could hear that you could hear the progression in there. We just plays to, I think when it gets to the eighth bar or so, then it adds another part to it to make the beat heavier. And another part that I want to touch has to do with when Sarkodie is about to end the verse, or when the chorus is about to begin. There is this particular roll, a very simple roll that is there. It makes the beat. It just introduces, or it just tells you that the intro is about to come. It's very nice the way he played the role in Charlie. Shout out to the emoji. That was a very nice. It's a very simple, lucid role, but it's very nice. And I remember I made a production for one particular artist, very popular artist, and I used to have a lot of rolling in a particular song, and artists complained that Charlie rolling is not done. So we had to shorten, or I had to reduce the number of rows in that particular song. I like the percussion, or the drums he used to do that particular way. It's very nice. The beat also has a string. It's a chordal string. It's a very nice melody. You wouldn't hear it in the entire beat. It comes in the introduction of the song, and I want to believe it's in the chorus as well, because the vocal is loud. You may not hear it, but it's in there. It's a very nice melody, and I want to believe it's a spiccato string. Yes, spiccato string, and you will also hear an electric guitar. I don't know if he played the. I don't know if MOG played the electric guitar, or he invited the guitarist to play that melody. It's in the ending, or the second part of Kweku Flick's chorus. A very nice melody, and it also ends with a song. A very nice melody that I don't know if it's a guitarist that who played it with an electric guitar, or it's MOG who played it on the keyboard. But it's a very nice melody. And the last aspect I want to touch on is there is a bass string. It comes once in a while in the beat. It sounds to the dome. It sounds very nice, and I like that particular melody. Yep. So the next thing I would want to touch on is the thematic areas of Sarkodie's rap. I mean, verse one and verse two. I have put it into five thematic areas, and the first one has to do with the guy's maltreatment of the lady. And so he talks about the guy treating the girl very nicely in public, but when it gets to, or when they go home at night, he beats the girl, he maltreats the girl, and all that. And he talks about the guy robbing the girl of her beauty, and um, he also seeing through the BS of the guy. Sarkodie has an eagle eye to spot the guy's treatment of the. I don't know how he was able to do that, but he's able to spot the guy, because he talks about the guy treating the girl nice in public and then treating the girl very bad at home. And so I was surprised he's able to see, he spots through the guy's BS. Hey, Okodia, no, no. So yeah, that's the first thematic area. And then he talks about the girl leaving the relationship. He says that I pray that you go wake up one day and then you just save yourself. So just saving yourself means you leaving the relationship, or just saying leave the abusive relationship. He made mention of run away from the BS before it turns out to be something bad. And yeah, so if you're in any relationship that's abusive, Charlie, leave before it becomes something very bad. Because in that particular video, we all saw how it ended. Efia Odo died, and he and Kweku Flick had to go to where the lady was buried, or if Odo was buried. And I mean, from even the image or the artwork of the song, you clearly see Kweku Flick and Sarkodie at a cemetery. It just depicts what the song is about. So you have to live before anything bad happens. Live before you face the consequences or ramifications or repercussions. And so he talks about the girl should pack her stuff and then leave, and then he will be there at 2. I mean, I like the rhyme scheme over there. So yeah, that's the second thematic area. The third thematic area has to do with the sad state or the pensiveness of the lady. He talks about the girl smiling outside, has that happiness in the world when she's outside, but I mean, breaks down or gets teary or cries when she's in the house. So it's that's what we call outside gentility, home cry. So that's what she's been depicting. She just portrays happiness outside. She flies on the wings of elation, but when she gets to the house, she meets that abusive boyfriend and who maltreats her and all that. That breaks her heart and all that. So yeah, and then Sarkodie talks about seeing the friend when she saw the girl for the very first time. She realized the girl was not happy, and I'm like, does Sarkodie have a redometer? Does he have a redometer that reads or that spots people's emotions? It's crazy. Yeah. So the fourth thematic area has to do with what he's been doing and what he intends to do for the lady. And then I like this particular line. I promised you heaven, but you stayed in hell. I like the way he played with Sarkodie is not a wordplay rapper, but it's not an let me which word should I even use? It's not a very dope wordplay, but it's cool because I like the way he played with heaven and hell. And then and Sarkodie thinking about the situation that I'm promising you heaven, but you want to stay in hell. Feel then that's making him sick. So I like that particular aspect. And then he says that you don't deserve to be loved. I'm ready to love you. Just try and see. So that's what he intends to let the girl know that just leave this particular relationship. I'm going to love you hard. I'm just going to treat you as like the queen that you are. So he talks about the beautiful aspect of the guy. That what can a guy do that I can't also do for you? Not the abusive aspects, but the positive aspect of the guy. And then he talks about how to love you is all I do. So he's been loving the girl, but Charlie, the girl need to give him attention and all that. The girl wants to stay in hell, stay in an abusive relationship. And the last thematic area has to do with how special the girl is. When you are trying to woo a girl, you just make sure you want to but you want to woo the girl. So he's talking about how special the girl is, and he said, "You are the man. You don't deserve to be the side." How did this guy end up with a girl like you? You are pretty to be locked up in this fucked up situation and all that, and you don't deserve to be sad. And so these words are trying to make the girl feel extremely special. So these are the thematic areas of Sarkodie's rap. Yeah, so now to Kweku Flick's chorus. And I like this particular chorus because it's very simple and very catchy. It's very nice. People now understand the importance of having a very nice chorus because it's the chorus that holds the song. You can have a very bad rap or a rap that is not all that good, but your chorus has to be top notch. Your chorus has to be extremely good because that's what holds the song, is the fundamental of the song, is the rudiment of the song. So yeah, you need to understand the importance of chorus. I mean, we have songs that were very popular back in the day. They had very nice choruses, but weak rap. So for instance, Araba Lawson had a very nice chorus sung by Ufurian Ponsa, but the rap fly, fly, oh fly. This lady wanna make you fly. It's not the best of raps, but you can clearly tell it's the chorus that held the song and made the song very popular. And Caesar won an award with this particular song as well. Yeah, and with this particular song. And so with Kweku Flick's chorus, it touches on what he intends to do for the girl and the pensiveness or the melancholic state of the girl. And so it touches on these two thematic areas, but doesn't really touch on the abusive aspect, which is quite fine. But I wish he would have extended that to tackle the abusive aspect and like Sarkodie did. But anyway, Sarkodie did an elucidation of that in both verses, so it's quite fine. But I feel if that particular element had been added, it would have made the chorus, I mean, cover that particular area would have been nice, by the way. But the chorus is very nice, and I want to believe that Kweku Flick did about two or three choruses and then had to send. I mean, sometimes when you have this particular opportunity or a big opportunity, you want to impress, and so I'm sure he came up with two choruses or three choruses and then sent. It's a headache when he wants to come up with cross. And so I'm sure after he transferred the three or sent the three files, and now he transferred the headache to Sarkodie and his team to choose the optimal cross. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually transferred. So yeah, but the song is very nice. It talks about he's going to put smiles on the girl's face. He's going to make the girl laugh. He's going to give the world all the happiness in this world. He talks about the girl pensive state or a melancholic state, and she shouldn't let anybody waste her time and all that, and the girl should forget everybody. He is going to be his number one. So that's what he talks about basically. So it's a very nice and a very catchy chorus. Love goes where love is. So yeah, that is it. Yeah, so let's focus now on Efia Odo, the ever baddest Efia Odo. And for me, the first time I heard of Efia Odo was in a series called, is this Hills and Sneakers? It was Yvonne Nelson's production way back, because I knew her as an actress. I didn't know her to be that bad girl vibe. It's just that in recent times, or for the past in the past few years, he's been showing that element or that side of her. So she comes off as someone who is very bad girl and all that. So that's what she kind of portrays to the people, and people have accepted that okay, this person is a very bad girl and all that, the bad girl vibe. So she really played the role very well. I'm not sure that linkage kind of sounds or looks a bit weird. According to feel that linkage looks a bit weird, but I mean, the so far as she was able to play her part very well in this particular video, it shows how good she is as an actress. So because she acted very well with the guy in the video, how she was abused and all that. She was in a relationship with, or yeah, she was in a relationship with a guy who abused her. The guy was also a drug addict, and people are going through such ordeal, but we may not know about some of these things because this cancer has not been projected in the media space for a very long time. So I'm glad Sarkodie actually touched on this particular subject and used Efia Odo as the main. Sarkodie to you go fall in love with the stripper. And the role fits Efia Odo very well because of her nature. She does these bad girl things, and so the stripper vibes was not something she couldn't do. And I remember I watched a video of her, it was an excerpt that I watched, that she said she was approached and they asked if she will be able to play that role very well. And she said she will be able to play that particular role. People don't know that she is an actress. So I believe that this particular song or this particular video would do justice to her. I remember she tweeted that Sakon doesn't know what he has done for her if you're done with this particular video. I mean, her red card is going to go up. She also has a very nice stature. If Theodore has that natural banging body. So yeah, she fixed the role of a stripper in this particular video, the pole dancing and all that. I couldn't go fall in love with a stripper. I'm in love with a stripper, yo. That's the same thing, by the way. And so yeah, so let me touch on the video as well. Like I said, I'm not talking about the technicality of the video because I'm not a video person. I'm just talking about, I mean, you could clearly tell the story from the start to end. Sarkodie meeting the girl. The other was a stripper in Sarkodie when they had this particular vibe, and then the girl was being abused by her boyfriend. She goes to work, brings the money home, and then the guy abuses her. The guy is also a drug addict, and the guy doesn't really do anything. The girl works, brings the money home, and then he treats her very bad. And I mean, people are going through such an ordeal, like I said earlier on. And so, yeah, she was abused continuously by her boyfriend. And in the end, she met her demise. She died. She didn't leave the relationship, as Sarkodie was saying. She died in a relationship. And so, if you are going through such an ordeal, it's better you leave before you meet your demise, or you die in such a relationship. And I don't know what happened. I wish they would have just showed what happened to the guy, what the guy told did the police come around to investigate the situation? What did they, was the guy arrested? That part wasn't really shown in the video, but that's, yeah. So in conclusion, it's a very nice song, a very nice video, and I'm glad that, I'm sure it was strategic to put the video out before the song, and the video actually did magic for Sarkodie and his team. So kudos to whoever brought the idea, because it just projected the song to a different level, and everybody's talking about it now. So yeah, thanks for watching. It has been lengthy because I wanted to be critical about the entire thing. So it has been lengthy video, and I'm glad we have come to this particular well, I'm glad you have come to the end of this particular video. Yes. So if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. My name is the man in the mirror. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I am Audi.